I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all see better outside. Just sunset and sky. Are we part of this circus? Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden, but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better, I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air.
The breakfast hour. It is Wellness Wednesday, and of course, we are happy that you're taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us here at the breakfast hour. And so at this time, we have opportunity time for you to go ahead and share your week. I hope that you have had a good week so far. Already we are in the middle of the week. It is Wednesday. Morning, Mikey G.
Well, good morning to you, Lady Elise. This morning, I didn't want to make the mistake of saying CoraleeKaren again. I did it last week. I know exactly what I experienced afterwards. So I'm not going to make the mistake. I want to say good morning, Lady Elise. CoraleeKaren is not with us this morning, but of course, she will be with us later on for our news, and we'll be doing our news forecast. Right here at Flashpoint. Of course, it's Wellness Wednesday, and like you said, go like and share the link. But remember, when you come on, please like, share, and subscribe to Flashpoint Media. And of course, remember, we also have Flashpoint TV running at the same time, and we are doing that now. Of course, hit the notification bell, and that when these programs comes up, you're able to see them first. All right. Having said that, it's Wellness Wednesday, and today is the day when we share a lot of health tips for our listeners, our viewers, and those who are just new to our channel and visiting. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to our devotional, and when we come back, we will have a few things that we'd like to share with you, and then our Wellness Wednesday doctor will be up and ready for us.
build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
Good morning. This is day 26. Love your enemies and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. Matthew chapter 5 verse 44. Grace to Forgive, written by Vernon Grams. It is difficult to understand how the Lord Jesus could pray for his brutal executioners to be forgiven. We often try to excuse our unforgiving hearts by arguing that he was God, whereas we are sinful creatures. But Jesus calls us to follow his divine example. Putting into practice the Bible's directives isn't easy. For example, it's hard to pray sincerely for God to forgive our enemies and those who humiliate and belittle us. Yet, God's word is crystal clear. Pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. As we lift our eyes to the Lord in prayer, we can be spirit-enabled to put into practice his most difficult directives. Think of someone toward whom you have harbored a bitter spirit. Ransack your memory if necessary. As you consider that your feelings for that person, pray, Lord, flood my heart with compassion and purge away my unforgiving spirit. Help me to live peaceably with all men. Amen. If multitudes of Christians did that, what a transforming difference it would make in our marriages, our homes, and our churches. We could have a big influence on our hate-filled world. When others we will not forgive, God's blessings are denied. We must forsake our stubbornness and banish sinful pride. Our quote this morning reads, "Ground that is filled with roots of bitterness needs to be plowed by the grace of God." End quote.
Looking to build your dream home or renovate your space? M&M Construction is the perfect place. We bring your vision to life with precision and quality craftsmanship. From design to construction, we guide you every step, ensuring seamless coordination and superior results. Our professional roof inspection and maintenance services will ensure that your roof is sturdy this hurricane season. So, if you are ready to start your construction journey, call us today at 345-927-7509. Build with confidence. Build with M&M Construction. 345-927-7509.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
cater to our physical well-being. God just made us in a unique way. We cater to the social aspect, the spiritual aspect. But what about taking care of our health? Today we are going to be exploring a topic not so familiar. Maybe you have heard of diabetes, hypertension, and a wide range of illnesses. But have you heard about multiple sclerosis? Today our physician, Dr. K, who has many years of experience, she is going to be teaching us some facts. Mikey G, are you ready to hear?
Bible says, "He that have ear, let him." I don't know about her. I said him. I know it wasn't speaking to us the men, alright? So,
Yes.
he that has ear, let him hear. In this case, he that have ears, let them hear. Let's put it that way.
Of course. So, of course, we want to welcome Dr. K with us this morning. But before she joins us, we're just going to take a short break. And then when we return, Dr. K will be speaking to us about our health and wellness.
Call and say, hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10. No, sir, Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of way. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's Earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't go to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up are full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors, in an earthquake, bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't want to run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
So drop, cover, and hold on. Without further ado, of course, we welcome Dr. K. Welcome, Dr. K. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Lady Elise. Good morning, Mikey G.
Well, I think because Lady Elise started talking first, I was then pick up from here, and then I'm going to let her say after. I want to say good morning to you, Dr. K, and of course welcome once again to another Wednesday, and of course Wellness Wednesday, where we're waiting to hear a little bit more about our health and how we can take better care of our bodies.
Right. So, as Lady Ellie said this morning, we're going to be talking about multiple sclerosis, and I'm not sure how many persons are familiar with multiple sclerosis. It's not quite a black man disease, but it occurs. So let's talk about multiple. In fact, multiple sclerosis is more common in people of European descent. But what they found over the years is that there's a lot of blacks and Hispanics and Asians who are having multiple sclerosis. So they're wondering if probably it's more common in that population than they had previously thought. But it is honestly but they were all mixed up, right? We're all mixed up. It's a disease of European descent, but then it's one melted pot. So a lot of us have genetic predisposition from different.
You just said it was a European descent disease. That's what you said.
Correct. It's more common
in European
descent.
Okay. colonization, I think if we're going to look at this concept, I think colonization may be the factor or the contributor or the way to think about it. That it would probably, if it's from one area that is mostly there, and it may be based on what you might allude to, that it may be common in one place, then it becomes somewhere else, then I think I just go with colonization. I just go with it.
It's not somewhere else, it's just the genes, because we're not solely African, we're mixed with a lot of other ethnicities, of course. So, what is multiple sclerosis? Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disorder. What that means is that your body basically sees you as foreign and produce antibodies to damage you. Just like lupus, we have lots of autoimmune disorders, and multiple sclerosis is one of them. The difference with multiple sclerosis is that it affects the brain and spinal cord. So what happens is that the body produces antibodies or immune complexes mistakenly. It mistakes our immune system, right? And it attacks the myelin sheath. And the myelin sheath is the covering of the nerve. Okay? So that's what happened in multiple sclerosis. So the myelin sheath, which is a covering of the nerve, is affected. And as a result of that, you get all the symptoms. So the body is actually producing immune responses, so it's actually attacking your own body. But unfortunately, where it attacks in multiple sclerosis is the covering of the nerve. And once it attacks the protective covering of the brain and spinal cord nerves, what happens is that the signal that will be sent to the rest of the body is interrupted. Okay? And therefore, the body is unable to perform functions like vision and sensation, so the touch is not as well, and movement. Okay? The only problem with multiple sclerosis is that there is no cure. However, there's treatment. So the person can go into remission and can stay there for a long time without having symptoms or without having any symptoms of multiple sclerosis. Okay? And so there are different types of multiple sclerosis. So you have, based on what you have, it could be mild or it could be severe. So that's what makes a difference with multiple sclerosis. So we have to understand that multiple sclerosis is basically a disease where you have damage to the protective covering of the nerves in the spinal cord and the brain. So information is not taken properly to the body. So you have problems with your eyes, you have problems with your movement, you have problems with your sensation. Now, what are the symptoms of multiple sclerosis? You might get fatigue. Sometimes you feel clumsy. You're actually, things are falling, or you feel like you're falling because there's problem with loss of balance and coordination. And then you can have dizziness. There is problem with your bladder and bowel regulation. And then you can have problems with your muscles. Your muscles can get stiff, or there could be tremors. And as a result of that, a lot of these people end up needing assistance with movement. Then you can have problems with your cognitive disorder, where you can have problem with thinking, your memory, concentration, judgment. Now, not everybody have all the symptoms at once. Okay? So you could have one or two symptoms, and it's a gradual progression. So you could have one or two symptoms, you could have more, you could have all, but it would be over time. So it doesn't mean that because you're diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, you're going to eventually become be in a wheelchair because you can't move. That's not true. So your symptoms could be mild, where you basically have fatigue or the clumsiness or even some problems with cognition, but you don't necessarily have to end up in a wheelchair. So it all depends on your type of multiple sclerosis. So if you're having any of the symptoms, then what you want to do is basically go to your doctor. And your doctor is going to be asking you a few questions, in terms of trying to figure out if it's really multiple sclerosis that you're having. And then you may want to do some blood tests, you may want to do an MRI, looking for any break in the covering, that's in any break in the myelin sheath, which is a covering of the nerves in the brain and the spinal cord. So yes, and as I said, apart from the people who are likely to have it, females are much more likely to have multiple sclerosis than males. Okay, it tends to occur in younger persons, usually about 20 to 40. So that's when it tends to be diagnosed. But if you notice, you might see young people or you might see older persons with multiple sclerosis. When they're older, that's when they become a little bit more debilitated and need more assistance. But it can occur in the early 20s, between 20 and 40. And as I say, it is more common in females, and it's very rare in children. It's very rare in children. Okay, and so we talked about the diagnosis, we talked about the complications. So the complications is basically lack of bowel control. Okay, think about it, that you get depressed, anxiety, sexual dysfunction, and there is lots of mobility, so you end up walking with assistance. Now the thing about it is that multiple sclerosis, as I said, being female, having a genetic predisposition for multiple sclerosis is some of the factors that puts you at risk. But it can be treated. There are lots of drugs that can be used. You can have physical, occupational, and speech therapy that can help you, and you can have counseling. So and then there is if you have visual defects, then you can get assistance with that. There's a lot of drugs now to treat multiple sclerosis. But the thing about multiple sclerosis is, it doesn't matter what you do, there's nothing to prevent it. But if you have multiple sclerosis, and even to prevent flare-ups, and it doesn't even matter if you don't. If you are predisposed, you have a family history of multiple sclerosis, even though we don't say we can't prevent it, but we can do things that will basically modify or slow down the disease progression. So we talk about them all the time. Your diet, managing stress, getting enough sleep, do not smoke if you don't have to, exercise. So, it's amazing that it doesn't matter what disease entity we come here every Wednesday and talk about, it goes back to the same fundamental principles of eating properly, managing your stress, exercise, stay away from harmful things like alcohol and smoking, get your vitamin D, form good friendships, form good support system. And it's amazing, really, Elise. It's crazy, because every time I say the same thing, I go back to the same thing. It's like, what is this? And I suppose it's the same body, and the way we take care of ourselves is always the same. Doesn't matter what disease entity we have.
I would like to say to you this morning that I just listened to the conversation, and I can tell you one thing. that just considering all the things that is attacking us and just listen to, all of it, sometimes I sit here and I wonder, how do we actually survive all these things? So it's like, just by living alone, so many things are waiting for us, and we operate in a frame of mind as if we are above all of the things that we are. It troubles me to see how frail we are, but yet still we treat each other with such disrespect, and we disregard the element of the one thing that would be sufficient for us all in the end of it is the God factor. And we have been listening to these conversations and the intricacies of the body, the makeup of it, and we cannot by any means dismiss the idea of a designer and somebody who actually put this in place. So I don't want to say whether you call it God or call it this. I'm going to say there must be a God, and for this to be possible, for us to have these intricacies, and yet still we would function in the mindset that we just came here by chance. So I'm happy for the conversations, even though I'm hearing how many things attacking me. Yeah.
If I take away from it, the Dr. K says at the end of it, it's all about how we take care of our temper. And it's unfortunate that it's when we are affected by these conditions that's when we make the changes necessary. But if we recognize that it's important for us to exercise, to eat right, to rest, and those balances that we need. And each week that the King comes on, she shares with us. Now, as she mentioned at the beginning, multiple sclerosis, although it's not predominantly in the black population, there have been cases, and certainly we recognize that we review it. And as you spoke, Dr. King, I want you to touch on one of these weeks, of course, on lupus. This seems to be something that's on the rise.
We can do that next week.
I've been diagnosed with this autoimmune condition, and lupus is one such thing that I've been hearing a lot these days.
We can do that next week. We do since this month is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month, but we can actually talk about, since we're talking about autoimmune disorder, we can talk about lupus, which is systemic lupus erythematosus. So we can talk about lupus next week. But the thing about multiple sclerosis is that we need to just not say it's a white man disease, because there's so many black people who have multiple sclerosis. And I'm sure if you look around, you'll see a lot of persons in our population. I was exposed to multiple sclerosis when I was in high school. There was a nurse, she eventually had multiple sclerosis, or eventually was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. But multiple sclerosis is different for everyone. It doesn't look the same in everybody, because it depends on the type of the severity of your multiple sclerosis, and it depends on you, how you manage your symptoms. Because as I say to you, you can actually slow down the progression by taking your medication, by getting counseling, by taking care of your body. So multiple sclerosis is different in everybody. There are some persons who are definitely can't walk and would be in a wheelchair and have to be staying there. There are some persons who just use assistive devices or just get somebody to assist them because mobility is there, but they just need assistance. And there are persons who are fine walking in terms of mobility, but they might have problem with their eyes, they might have problems with heat and sensitivity, problem with their sensation, they might have problem with their mind, with memory, with thinking, with their cognitive function. So it is different for different persons. As I say, even though I gave you the symptoms of it, not everybody is plagued with every one of those symptoms at the same time.
I'm asking a question here. If I go to the doctor, I could go to the doctor and ask to do a test to find out if I have this disease.
Well, your doctor is not going to do a test to find out if you have the disease because you have to have symptoms in order for them to want to do an MRI or even blood test. You're not going to say, oh, can you check me for multiple sclerosis? Because I'm not sure if there's a gene that they're going to be checking for and say, oh yeah, you have multiple sclerosis gene. So it's based on the symptoms they're going to be looking for example, if you have those symptoms, they're going to be doing an MRI of the brain and spinal cord. They're going to be looking to see if there's any disruption in the myelin sheath, in the covering of the nerves. And if there's any disruption, so you'll see it on MRI, you'll see that there's a space there where there's, oh my God, there's the damage to that myelin sheath. You'll see it. And then you can know that this person has MS. Blood tests and other tests that you can do. But you're not going to just go to the doctor and say, hey, can you check me? Furthermore, you're male anyway. You're less likely to have MS.
But having said all of that, Doc, I'm just thinking about the early detection. We talk about early detection in so many other cases of different types of diseases and other things that may affect us. And I was wondering, how would we get an early detection without finding a problem first? I'm just thinking that, but based on the explanation, I've listened to it.
But early detection is based on your symptoms, and that's why every week I will say, know your body. Know your body. When there's a change in your body, you will know. You will know that, hold on, I'm a young person. I'm not remembering things. I'm having problems I'm a little bit more clumsy than usual, and I'm young, and why is that happening to me? So you have a conversation, so you can start treatment early and start, modifying your lifestyle, make sure you take care of yourself if you weren't doing so, to prevent the progression of the disease.
But
it's not like I say we can prevent it. There's nothing to prevent it. There's nothing that we know of can give you to prevent multiple sclerosis. If you have a family history of it, then you can basically ask you to just, or your doctor, work with your doctor to get you to identify symptoms or identify symptoms early, so the progression can be slowed. So yes, you're going to be definitely probably taking precautions at that time if you have a family history, a genetic predisposition for getting multiple sclerosis. But in terms of prevention, we haven't reached that stage yet.
Wow. Well, I am already feeling better to know that I am male, and it's more unlikely that I might get it. But I don't think it comforts me because, for some unknown reason, I have many of the persons that I love very much, and they are going to be female. So I am already worried for my female counterparts, and I am feeling saddened by the fact that this is something that is going to be affecting our females more than our males. But even so, I am even still worried about just the fact that it is even possible to affect us, at any level. And it is mind-blowing sometimes to hear some of the things that we come across or are there to take up a pinch out of our lives. It's like saying, I want to wake up one morning and hear somebody come up with a cure for death, and I'm thinking, I know, just go find the cure for death, guys. Go find the cure for death. I don't know. I'm just there.
Unfortunately, that is the world that we live in. There's so many illnesses, there's so many things, and what do we do? There's so many illnesses, and we just have to be aware. And that's why we have these wellness Wednesdays, in order to increase our awareness and to make sure that we actually do everything that we can to stay healthy. There's no guarantee, but we can try, because by following the laws of health, we're less likely to be plagued with a lot of these diseases.
Following the laws of health. And
Following the laws of health, okay. It's a lot, but it's not too much when we have a health condition dealing with. So I want to thank you, Dr. King, for sharing again with us. Again, we have to be deliberate, right, Mikey G?
yes, I know than anybody else because I hear now that it's a possibility that I may be able to get it.
Yeah.
Unlikely, most, the more unlikely.
Hazel G has said that she has not seen one case in her entire career, nursing career. She has not seen a case of MS yet.
And I'm so happy for her because I've seen so many.
Yes.
And I told her the first time I was exposed when I was in high school, and that was in Jamaica.
Wow. So, of course, it's not as real as 2014. It's still exists.
It's actually not so rare, you know. I mean, I can find a few people right now with multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
I can find a few people, including black persons, with multiple sclerosis. And young persons too.
Well,
So
you live and you learn.
it's just that depending on where you are, even in Jamaica, there are lots of people with multiple sclerosis in Jamaica. In fact, was it multiple sclerosis or lupus? I think it was lupus. Because I had a high school classmate who died, but I think she died from lupus. It was an MS. It was an MS. But even now, I know people with MS right now. So I'm happy that Miss Hazel hasn't seen one case, but unfortunately, I have seen a few. I wish I didn't, but I've seen a few.
Multiple sclerosis, and we are attacked by these diseases every single day of our lives. Different one, pick your choice, guys. Which one do you want? It's a buffet out there for us to have. Wow.
So next week we'll definitely talk about lupus. We'll definitely talk about lupus next week.
Well, it's Wednesday right here on Flashpoint. Of course, remember to like, share, and subscribe to this media, Flashpoint Media. Of course, our radio continues, flashpointmedia.ky, every single day, every week. You can also get the programs on our platform, radio, everywhere on this planet. First, Black, we want to thank you for coming on this morning. Another presentation that rocks our minds and keep us informed as you always do. Thank you again. We want to say, have yourself a great day as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. D.
See you next week. Have a good week.
No matter how old or young we are, it's something to learn about your health. Wellness Wednesday, we are happy to share information related to taking care of our bodies, reminding us that, of course, it is important to pay attention to these few elements of taking care of your health, watching what you're eating, exercising, resting, and of course managing our stress level. Anyway, there's so much more for us to share this morning on Breakfast Hour. We have the news that's coming up, we have a few announcements to make, and of course, if you have any greetings that you want to share, you can send us a message at 345-321-6969.
Alright, of course, this segment of the Breakfast Hour is brought to you by Assign Ultrasound for all your ultrasound needs right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. Of course, this morning, Wellness Wednesday has brought me to my, my mind of fear, how things can go wrong. Can we live in fear all the time though? Can we? Can we just live in fear and finish with this?
No, if we live in fear all the time, we perhaps won't live at all. We will still get up and go to the house. We will not truly live.
It is indeed Wellness Wednesdays, guys, and just listening to these things. I remember yellow fever, Elise. Yellow fever. You know the story of yellow fever? You know the story of yellow fever? No? So yellow fever, I think, was and as you mentioned earlier, European based or more of a European disease. And yellow fever was a factor of people traveling to different places and bringing diseases with them. The Indians died in droves coming in contact with the Europeans at that time. They all had this thing that they couldn't figure out what it was. So I think we have people carry diseases, and I think when they travel to different places, they ask you to be vaccinated against this or vaccinated against that. I'm not sure. Yellow fever. I probably should touch on yellow fever one of these days. I'd love to hear the story on that. Alright, Wellness Wednesday, guys. Let's go for our break. When we come back, of course, our news, Lady CoraleeKaren will bring that news for us. It is indeed another Wednesday of education and wellness.
Ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, March 26, and these are the news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. I'm CoraleeKaren. A new non-profit aims to champion autism acceptance. A non-profit organization, Autism Acceptance, has been launched in the Cayman Islands to empower and to support autistic individuals and their families. Founded in January, the charity aims to foster acceptance, promote inclusivity, provide essential resources, and educate the community on autism awareness. Chelsea Flynn, the founder and board chair, said the initiative was born out of the experiences of autism parents, neurodivergent individuals, and dedicated allies who identified a crucial gap in support and inclusion. Flynn, a mother of an autistic child, emphasized that autism acceptance is a movement, not just a message, aimed at creating lasting change for the autistic community. Fashion show raises over $42,000 for Cancer Society. The annual Catwalk for Cancer Fashion fundraiser held at the Paseo in Cayman Bay, has successfully raised more than $42,000 for Cayman Islands Cancer Society. The event, described as a dazzling event of style and solidarity, was sponsored by Health City Cayman Islands and featured a runway showcase with clothing provided by Sand Angels. Rebecca Brooks, chair of the Cancer Society, highlighted that every dollar raised will go directly towards providing care and resources for individuals battling cancer. Catherine Dawson James, owner of Sand Angels, praised the event's ability to unite the community through fashion and philanthropy, reinforcing the importance of supporting those affected by cancer. Key takeaways from Bordentown West Candidates Forum. A three-way contest for the Bordentown West seat saw incumbent Chris Saunders emphasize his experience. Challenger Hammond Rankin stressed a fresh political approach, and former MP Osman Bodden positioned himself as a bridge between traditional and modern Cayman. Key issues discussed included the cost of living, education reform, healthcare, and economic diversification. Rankin focused on accountable leadership and addressing corrupt concerns, while Saunders and Bodden highlighted economic policies and traffic congestion as pressing concerns for Caymanians. Opinion: health eating in Cayman too expensive to swallow. With food prices in the Cayman Islands among the highest in the world, many families struggle to afford nutritious meals. A 2021 census reported that 652 Cayman Islands households experienced food insecurity, and the Cayman Food Bank now supports over 1,000 individuals monthly. Experts warn that a diet reliant on ultra-processed foods contributes to rising cases of diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. While government initiatives such as the Grown in Cayman program aim to improve food security, ongoing investment and collaboration are needed to make healthy eating more accessible and affordable for all. And now to regional news. Shanique Price named 2025 Mathematics Teacher of the Year. Shanique Price, a dedicated educator at Immaculate Conception High School in St. Andrew, has been honored as the Ministry of Education's 2025 Mathematics Teacher of the Year. Price received a cash prize of $100,000, a computer, a trophy, and an additional $100,000 for her school. Second and third place went to Sasha Ashley Kelly of Pleasant Valley Primary School and Kimberly Todd of Westwood High School, respectively. The award recognizes excellence in teaching, and Price will serve as member of the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics for 1 year. Beachgoers urged to stay vigilant during crocodile nesting season. Authorities are urging beachgoers to exercise caution as crocodile nesting season, which runs from November to June, is in full effect. The Holland Bay Crocodile Sanctuary has issued warnings about increased crocodile activity along coastal areas and estuaries. Visitors are advised to avoid disturbing nesting sites and to report any sightings to the relevant wildlife authorities to ensure safety for both humans and the protected species. Those were your news headlines on Flashpoint Radio. Please continue to stay tuned for more updates throughout the day.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They are conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. A Aside Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Aside Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio, Rise and Shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news and fun, with Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
And you know, time goes by so swiftly that it's almost time for us to get out of studio. But we have things we want to share with you, and of course, on a sad note, we want to share, of course, the Davis' family movement to announce the passing of Elise Davis, and the funeral will be held this Saturday, 29th of March at 11 a.m. at the All Nations Pentecostal Church located right here in Georgetown. So we want to extend our condolences to the family as well. I don't want to leave on a sad note, Mikey G.
Alright, well, there are lots of stuff going on. I mean, I want to say also condolences to the family. Our good friends, of course. I also someone that I know very well. Yeah, condolences. Alright, we have some other stuff that we're listening to. We are thinking about
Fish Fry.
Fish Fry event. Flashpoint Fish Fry comes up on the Sunday, the 6th of April 2025, and it's an event that you don't want to miss. Getting those fish. Is it fish? I did fishes, more than one fish.
If you answer that question, I'm going to ask someone to come on and help you with that. But of course, it's time for us to get out of here, and of course we want to say thank you to those who have joined us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you've joined us. Thank you for spending your time with us, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Alright, so I must add my quota of thank you as well, ladies. We want to say good morning to you again. If you're just joining us and you're joining us for the first time, I want to say welcome to the breakfast hour. Of course, yours truly, Mikey G, and of course, Lady Elise is here this morning. Of course, CoraleeKaren is responsible for our news this morning. And you know, we have a program on Friday that we want some of us to really pay attention to. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at, you know, some of the AI things that happens with AI. Some very shocking things that we should be noting, you know. But I want to explore AI and robotics, where we are in this world on Thursday. So come on, check us out on Thursday for our AI and the robotics segment. But on Friday, remember, it's family, and this Friday we're talking about abortion and what abortion is, what it does, the effects of it, and how necessary it is. Let's see, is it necessary? And let's see on Friday what we think. Of course, we want you to bring your comments, of course, to Flashpoint Media, and tell us in our email, if you want to email us at Flashpoint Radio. It is Flashpoint
FlashpointRadioJA@gmail.com.
Thank you. FlashpointRadioJA@gmail.com. Right here in the Grand Cayman. And of course, our number to call or to text to our number is 1345 321 6969. I remember that. Alright, so please send us a little bit of information, questions if you have them, comments if you want, and of course if you have an idea for a program and some addition to these programs, still give us some, share that with us. Alright, having said that, dear Elise.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to see you. Stay active.
I think I said it all. I didn't have to say anything more. I am missing a few things. Let's see what I missed. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That when this program comes on, you get it first. Have yourself a great day. Remember, stay with us. www.flashpointmedia.ky. Of course, remember, check us out at 2 to 6. The Super Mix comes up. Yeah, man, you get some nice music and stuff. Different genre, different music, different cultural, and sharing with you a variety of different styles. Alright, have yourself a great day, guys. Catch you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Continue to enjoy Flashpoint Radio. I want to say good morning to Jenny this morning. I'm going to give a special shout out to a lady that I met some time ago, and she watches the breakfast hour in the mornings. So I want to say good morning to Jenny this morning. Good morning, Jenny. You know yourself. You're in Florida. You know yourself. Alright, I'm going to just leave it like that. Good morning to you. As we take our leave of absence, we say ta-ta for now.
Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, it will all seem better outside. Just us in the sky. Is it innate? Feels like a heavy burden but I can't relate. Do our actions even matter? Or is this a fate? At least now I'm feeling better. I know I'm here to stay. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air. Look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together. We'll all sing better outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever. I'll be yours forever.
You're listening to Flashpoint, the family radio.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.